Hello and welcome to Edukemy's YouTube channel. My name is Harsh Singh and in this video we shall discuss the current affairs for today, 8th of April 2022. Welcome to all the participants who are live and welcome to all the people who are viewing offline. Hi Babani, Netra, Ashish, Kriti, Sam, welcome all of you. Good to see you people. Continue the practice of writing answers. And then we also have amongst with us. All right, these people writing answers, great, good enough. So let's begin this discussion. What do we have in the current affairs segment today is me and all of you, daily current affairs. And the quote of the day, today's quote is, be so good that they can't ignore you. Be so good in your performance every day that nobody can ignore you. Let your parents know that you people are diligent. It just happens with the help of your actions every day, repeatedly, hitting the hammer on the same spot, and then you see how an impact you will make in your life and in your results. It happens every day when you do this by probably answering these questions, by possibly following a routine for your prelim examination and your optional subject. So be so good that the examiner also cannot ignore you. Be so good that the pre-exam UPSC knows that this is the person I would like to take in. Right? And that happens not just by fluke, it happens by keeping efforts, regular efforts. All right, good evening Hima, no worries, let's start this. And yes, if you like this initiative, share some love through likes, comments and shares. The more you share, the wider the outreach, the better it is for the whole community. All right, so what do we have today in the current affairs sections? We have quite a few articles that we will talk about. We will talk about CAG report on defense PSUs along with, and yes, please do mention what is the color that you wanted me to choose. Possibly was that red that you people had asked. Defense PSUs and also a CAG report on Aadhaar data, right? Ministry of Information Technology and Electronics. Along with that, we will also understand an update on UNHRC. We will have quite a few terms to be covered today, and a few editorials giving you opinions about BRICS and some more procedure of votes and a beautiful case study towards the end. So let's begin this. All right, the first report, it's an update from today's newspaper, is that CAG states, the Comptroller and Auditor General states that the ordnance factories and the audit happening there, the quality assessment is not up to the mark. And when they found out this report, this report that they have generated, this is for the year 2014, from 14 to 19. And in these 5 years, they found that there have been almost 600 accidents of 11 ordnance items. So 10 items and 1 tank. This is what they found, 600 accidents related to this. Now, this is not the complete picture. There are details of it. And through these details, we will understand what the CAG does with these kind of analysis and what can be possible shortcomings. This is a question that I had also posted here. All right. So before this, let me give you a brief picture of what CAG is about. Comptroller and Auditor General, they are the protector of public purse, protector of whatever funds that come to Government of India. So they can prepare reports on any institution that is funded by Government of India, be it defense PSUs, be it the ministries, be it any other body which are partially or fully funded by the government. All right. So this is an important task among the other tasks. They are a part of the constitution. It's a constitutional body. Between the articles 148 to 151, this is 48, 49, 50, 51. Yes, 4 articles find a mention about CAG, their roles and responsibility. You people have rightly mentioned in the comment section that 65 years is the age at which, maximum age at which they retire, or 6 years of service, whichever is maximum. They can be a couple of terms of service also are important. For example, they can be removed only because of proved incapacity or misbehavior, and the grounds of removal are as similar to what happens to a Supreme Court judge. All right. So CAG. Now, what have they said? They have said that first of all, this report was prepared on ordnance factories and defense public sector undertakings. See, just a few months back, we had a report in 2021 where we spoke about the Ordnance Factory Board, which had 41 factories breaking into 7 different units, 7 different PSUs to be formed out of 41 factories under Ordnance Factory Board. Ordnance factories, if you get to civil service exam, which I am confident you would, this is one of the institutions, complete service. Ordnance factories, board is complete service in which you can actually get into, right? So when they went into the audits of materials and components, see, every defense, every entity that is created by the defense PSUs, what are they? Examples of these entities are right here. For example, creation of bullets, creation of mortars or shells, creation of vehicles, creation of fighter aircrafts, all these bridges, tanks, ammunitions, all of these are created by the 41 PSUs, 41 factories that we have. And this was under Ordnance Factory Board, which has now been segregated into 7 organizations, 7 different PSUs, each PSU to specialize in its own capacity. For example, Munitions India Limited, it will have certain number of factories creating ammunition, right? Gola Barud. Another one for armored vehicles, you see, these are the armored vehicles, right? These 3 tons, 5 ton vehicles are the armored vehicles. Advanced weapons and equipments, whatever weapon and equipment of advanced level, for example, artillery has to be created, electronics have to be created. This is the advanced weapon. Troop Comforts Limited, troop comforts, so thermals or any kind of textile devices to be created, shoes to be created for special zones, troop comforts. Similarly, Yantra India Optel Limited, Optel is it's related to optics and telecommunication both, and gliders, which are responsible for parachute creation. So these are the 7 different PSUs, and CAG has conducted their investigation of the quality assessment of the products being created here. Okay, so this is the background of it, right? And so what do they state? They state about quality assurance, and they also speak about quality problems. See, these are 2 different problems. First of all, if we are creating a nut bolt in the PSU, the quality of nut bolt is one issue, but quality assurance, whether the nut bolt has been fixed properly or not, whether the device is ready to be operational or not, this is another issue. They have found lacunae in both of them, quality problems and quality assurance both. Quality assurance QA, जो QA check बोलते हैं ना. Now this is where I want to remind you of what we had known previously. The maker, checker and reviewer format. This format is applicable everywhere. This format is applicable, for example, in the UPSC examination also. You people write the answers, somebody checks the answers, and after that there is somebody else to review whether the whole process was carried out nicely or not. Here the maker is the defense PSUs. Who is the checker? Checker is the organization which is using it. In this case, most of the entities are being used by armed forces. And overall, after checker, reviewer is the CAG, absolutely. And not only armed forces, there are other independent authorities also which are checker. So they have also pointed out some shortcomings here, private agencies or other agencies which are checking, and some issues related to them. All right. So audit, quality assessment, these are the issues that are running around, because of which we have found 600 accidents in 11 ordnance components, devices and end products. All right. So this is one part of it. Now, certain part of the report, it very clearly mentions that among all the functional groups, one of the highest overheads, that means one of the highest expenditure, was there for M&C, material and components, and it was as much as 37 to 42%, and this was dedicated to supervision charges. You understand supervision? Why audit and quality assessment, supervision. And when the expenditure has only risen for supervision, then why are we not having good quality supervision and assessment? Why does it result into accident and then understanding what are the issue? See, you understood what I am speaking of, no? The supervision charges from independent authorities or contract authorities, that has only increased with time, and the accidents have also not decreased. So this is one deficiency which the report points to. It also says, do remember 3 things: the quality, of the component or material produced. Quality assessment, both of them have shortcomings. And the third is time factor. The time factor means when the armed forces or the defense PSU is not able to spot the problem, when they are not able to spot the problem, this is where the time lag also creates issues for further production, for further utility of that item. As simple. So these are the three issues pointed by CAG, right? You can point out all of these issues when you speak of the defense modernization issues involved with it, and straight away speak of CAG pointing out of these issues. All right. But then look, Modi ji had very well declared just few weeks back, and we also discussed this, that India will become a 5 billion export driven economy for defense products only. And to do this, India needs to have better quality products. But then there are three main requirements which I have put here: quality, timeliness, and specifications. Having quality products produced in time and meeting the quality specifications that are required. I want the aircraft to fly at 10 kilometer height and it cannot reach that thrust and altitude, then this, even if it is produced on with good quality and time, the specifications are not at par. So all these three things should go hand in hand, and we are lagging here. So target is quite ambitious, but then achievement is an issue. See, remember we had discussed one of the editorials where I had spoken that in export market and production market also, India's defense PSU's contribution is not as much. It is the private entities which are a part of the value chain, part of supply chain, which provide electronics, mechanical parts, and have mergers with or some outsourced offices in India, and that's how they provide the exporting items. So defense PSU's dependency right now is one shortcoming for the country. All right. Okay, next one. Next report is again CAG report. See, this is where you can talk about. The first report is on defense. The first report is on economy or export preparedness of the country. The second report is on governance, privacy, protection of data, related to all this. So let me ask you a question before we begin. Please tell me, Aadhaar data, Aadhaar cards, they are issued only for the Indian citizens or they are issued for foreigners also? Please type in the comment section. Is it issued only for the Indian nationals or people who have come from abroad and are staying in the country? Aadhaar number. Okay, getting back, some basics about Aadhaar before going ahead. It is a 12-digit number. It is not alphanumeric, it is numeric number itself. And this 12-digit unique identification number is issued to every person, every national of India, or any person who is staying in the country. Any person who is staying in the country for more than 182 days in a year. You stay for more than 182 days amounts to 6 months. If you stay in any country for more than 6 months, you are eligible to become a resident of that country, not a citizen, but a resident. So resident card is issued in every country. Aadhaar is that resident proof for any person living in India. So a Bangladeshi national also staying in India for more than the requisite number of days in this year can gain access to Aadhaar card. They will have to give their demographic data, where they are staying, if they are staying with the family, all those details, and they will also have to give their biometrics. Biometrics means facial recognition, image photograph, thumb impression, those basic things, right? Two things are required, and this will be an identification proof of the person that the person is staying in the country, proof of residence. That's it. All right. And this is why the government had created an autonomous organization under Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. This autonomous organization is called as UIDAI, Unique Identification Authority of India. Okay. So issue to citizens and foreign nationals. एंड कितनों के साथ ये हुआ है, एक फोटोग्राफ क्या दिखते हैं और क्या बना दिया वहां पर, राइट? इट हैज बीन वेरी वेरी डिफरेंट, एंड दिस इज वेयर CAG रिपोर्ट आल्सो पॉइंट्स दिस शॉर्टकमिंग आउट, राइट? सो लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड द शॉर्टकमिंग सो दैट वी आर वेरी क्लियर विद व्हाट इज द इशू हियर. ऑलराइट, सो पहले तो दे से, यू रिमेंबर फ्यू डेज बैक, just I think last month we had some data, some discrepancy in data which spoke about criminal offenses for people, criminal records for people like the film actors, and they were in Bihar, something of that sort. I'll cover that sometime. So first of all, this data also, this CAG data, it clearly speaks of incomplete documentation. people who are declaring to be foreign nationals and they declare that they are there in the country for more than 6 months. They declare this, but there is no way Aadhaar is able to verify this. So it either amounts to incomplete documentation or unverified documentation. This is one part Aadhaar has clearly revealed, right? This audit has clearly revealed that the data that we have, we are not sure if this data has been clearly mentioned or not. So the Aadhaar people say here that it is because people have self-declaration. That is all. That is the only thing. Self-declaration is the only way. There is no way to assess this. See, the government, the Ministry of Information Technology is not sitting at all the places and doing this work. They have outsourced the work to an agency or multiple agencies, and they are doing the work. This is where the government also says you should start coordinating more with the government bodies, with state government, municipal governments, local governments, central government authorities, rather than outsourcing all your work, right? So this is one thing that they have said. Reliance on contractors is high, which you must decrease. Along with that, they say that when you have taken flawed biometric data, you should be penalizing those authorities or those agencies from where you took these cameras, or those agencies which are clicking these type of photographs or taking wrong thumb impressions, right? Instead of doing that, what has happened is that UAIDI, what they have done is that they have asked people, if you want to get your image changed, photograph changed, then you got to pay some money and seek an appointment, and this will be done for you. This is where they have criticized, CAG has criticized, you should be penalizing those people who are taking flawed biometrics instead of penalizing the citizens, right? So this is another thing. Charging a fee for the citizens, and the onus and the cost of citizens is on citizens to correct the biometric data. This is absolutely flawed. So they are working towards public welfare, right? Decision to waive off the penalties for biometric solution. See, so why are you taking a decision to waive off these penalties if the people indulged in these private activities of taking biometric data, if they are at law? So these are the inputs. Another input here is very important. This is a very strong input. That is that see, there are many agencies, for example banks, for example telecommunication companies, Airtel, Jio, Vodafone, so many of them, and banks also, they verify our residentship with the help of Aadhaar data, right? But then there is no way to assure that the data that they have taken, for example our Aadhaar number that they have taken, they have deleted from their records. There is no way to assure that. This is where they say personal information is being compromised, as simple as that. And Aadhaar has not taken any efforts to correct this. The authorities have not taken, they did not ensure that partners who carry out verification would not be able to store personal information, banks or telecommunication companies. So complete breach of privacy, right? And there are many ways in which there is duplication of Aadhaar cards also, right? Because the biometrics has not been one-to-one mapped. So have a look at the number of issues. I am quickly summarizing the issues. One issue and one more issue is there, that is of Bal Aadhaar. Small children, age 0 to 5, just born to become the 5 years of age. Aadhaar is issuing biometric Aadhaar number to these children also. But their biometric data is not getting captured. They are mapped with their parents. So, the CAG says, why are you spending and why do you have to do this work when their data has to be mapped with the parents? Take the data right away after they become 5 years of age, because after 5 you will have to issue an Aadhaar card to them, right? They've also recommended a couple of things. For example, the eye scan instead of the fingerprint scan, because fingerprints might change, iris scan will not change with time. This is under consideration, right? There's also a point where they have recommended that yes, there are more information and security audit reports. Audit report of what? Information security. That information is secure. They are receiving more information security audit report. This is a good sign, proving more security in the country, right? And the third one is that the people are taking self-confirmation, right, rather than being confirmed that their place of residence and so they have stayed in India for 182 days. This is only a self-declaration. This Aadhaar people also. they agree with. Now, who is this gentleman here? They are the current Controller and Auditor General of India, Mr. Murmu, Girish Murmu, and he is an IAS officer from Gujarat cadre. All right, current CAG of the country. Okay, very powerful authority. So quickly summarizing, see this page contains the three good things, or recommended things, what are happening that are good: information security audit, iris and fingerprint, which is recommended and good things, right? But then the first part mentions clearly what are the issues. For example, giving undue advantage to the biometric solution provider and penalizing the people in case biometric data is not good. What is the fault of people? No fault of no fault. Then incomplete documentation is happening. Then the authorities, for example, the verification authorities, removing data from their end, right? Removing data from banks and the end of the telecommunication approvers, right? All that is something that must be avoided. Bal Aadhaar, right? So this is where CAG says crores and crores, 500 crore of money you people have lost here. So this part can be, they are really very strict about this, right? Bal Aadhaar, if they have formulated, even if they have, so, and it got, the government had to spend say around 500 crore rupees on this. CAG is very strict, saying you people lost this money. This is your liability. All right. So these are the two updates from here. Okay. The third is Russia getting suspended from United Nations Human Rights Council. This is the third update. So by far, this has been the most strict statement issued by India, and another decently strict statement issued by China as well, right? By far. So these countries have started to take a stand right now, because nobody was aware, what was happening in Bucha. Yesterday itself we studied what happened in Bucha, right? And some of the images I had shown yesterday, this is what it is, right? So people who were completely innocent, they were just running away from the massacre scene, right? And they were killed, right? People cannot be killed when they are handcuffed, right? Summary executions are completely human right violations. So whether this comes as a part of war crime or genocide, whatever it is, this has to be explained by a country like Russia. And this is where a resolution was taken up by United Nations, and the resolution was to remove Russia from United Nations Human Rights Council. That council includes around 50 odd countries, and 50 odd countries which are taken from different geographies, right? So maintaining a geographical mix. For example, Caribbean countries, some of them have to mandatorily participate by rotation, and this removal is symbolic in nature. It does not act in many ways, but it is very, very symbolic in nature, stating that Russia has not done a good deed here, right? There must be an investigation. Now, this is a letter on the right side of the image. You'd see there's a letter explaining India's stand. I had explained to you people that whenever any country votes in United Nations, the voting happens in through buttons. So there is a green button, there is a yellow button, and there is a red button. Red, yellow, and green. Green means we vote in favor of whatever is the motion, whatever is the resolution. Yellow, abstention, and red is voting against. So India has again abstained. This is, I think, 11th or 12th abstention in United Nations, but this time India has also given a stand. Very, very simple and stand. India, see, countries have to explain their votes also. See, Mr. President, this is India's representation. Statement by Ambassador Tirumurti. So once you become an IFS officer, you would be India's representative. What have they? And this is not their personal stand, by the way. This is the official stand of the country. Khud nahi likh diya. So India has abstained, they say, and then they say, we believe that no solution can be arrived by shedding blood and at the cost of innocent lives. No cost or nothing can be achieved by shedding blood and innocent lives. If India has chosen any side, it is the side of peace and is for immediate end to violence. See, what a smart move. India is getting appreciated because of this. India and China, both of them, because maintaining a neutral stance means we are open to conversations to both the parties, right? None of them are ready to agree. Now see, there is a stalemate between Ukraine and Russia right now. This is the latest. The countries are not ready to accept the peace plan of each other, and therefore now latest is that Mr. Zelensky has asked for more weaponry from the Western parties. Imagine this, when Russia is retreating from Bucha, it's fine, but then what about Mariupol? What about these Donetsk and Luhansk region? What about them? What would be the level of massacre conducted there, right? So very, very tragic to see this. See, this is the strong statement. Strong also might seem to be a little pacifying, but then India has clearly indicated that India is not okay with this. Recent reports of civilian killings in Bucha are deeply disturbing. We have unequivocally condemned these killings and support the call for an independent investigation. See, independent investigation. All right. So this is a quick summary of this. How was Russia expelled? Two-third voting to expel Russia out of UNHRC, and this happened. Russia has been expelled. Pehle bhi one country has been expelled. Muammar Gaddafi's Libya was expelled previously. Okay. Let me take up some questions and then move ahead to the next segment. Okay. We're a Senate of India. Good. Thank you, Hima. Yes, they charge a minimal amount, but then are people at fault? No, we didn't click. We were clicked. Your device was not good. Your lighting was not good. Why should I be at fault? So, but see, CAG is very straight and clear. You people, the authorities of UIDAI, they ensured that the private agencies penalty should be, done away with. But people should be charged for 40-50 rupees. So this is not done, no. So that is how they are the protector of public purse. They keep presenting reports and auditing the reports. Ashish says, sir, are common service centers outsourced or government controlled bodies? They are not government controlled directly. The Pragya Kendra and common service centers, they are outsourced. Everybody please take a note. There are at every municipal corporation areas, small municipality or a small block level office, or at rural areas also, there is an institution called as Common Service Center. Common Service Center, Pragya Kendra, etc., whatever is the name given at places. And these places are very, very relevant for any person not having a digital device with themselves and not aware of government functioning. They can receive, for example, they can receive a lot of aid there. They want legal aid, go to Pragya Kendra. You want to deposit your electricity bill and you don't have a phone, you don't know how to operate, go to Pragya Kendra. So any government welfare scheme which is being run, right, go to Pragya Kendra and you will be registered with it, right? So, but these are outsourced, these are not government. See, that's what has been the agenda of the government. Maximum governance, minimum government. So that is the reason that we don't see many ministers. We see few ministers and holding 3 or 4 multiple portfolio. Saves money, no, for the government. Okay, hi Vivek, good evening. See, everybody has paid money. I am yet to pay this money. I also got to change my telephone number and photograph. Yeah, what to do? Thank you, government. All right, moving ahead to some more updates. Hacking happening against the country. So suspected Chinese hackers collect intelligence from India's grid near Ladakh. So this attack has happened, and what is this attack about? This attack, let me tell you the brief understanding of this attack. The hackers focused on at least 7 load dispatch centers. Load dispatch centers, what are these places? So when load is there present in electricity grid, it is distributed at various levels to various places, and at 7 places in North India they have tried to hack these places. What do they want through this? So the analysis is the first statement. It says, what do you want to do with this kind of data? Where is being electricity provided? What is the use of diverting electricity from one place to another? You would be only able to understand some economic relevant data, but no. This has been the traditional way in which attacks have happened, and people have wanted to know about India. But then, or ransomware, all those things. But no, this is not the requirement. Possibly Chinese hackers are using this data to understand more about Ladakh, India's grid near Ladakh. So what is the presence of military? Possibly what is the usage of electricity there? Have a look. I would like to read this. The prolonged targeting of Indian power grid assets by Chinese state-linked group offer Limited economic espionage or traditional intelligence gathering. What will they do with knowing this data? So here is the interpretation. We believe this is instead likely intended to enable information gathering surrounding critical infrastructure and pre-positioning for future activity. So they want to know something very strategic about what's happening in Ladakh. बिना electricity के क्या होगा यहाँ पर, right? With electricity, with grid connectivity, we'll come to know what are the major installations where you are supplying more electricity. The Chinese hackers doing their trick, and yeah, so that's the update. The second update is on Lok Sabha Speaker mentioning, Mr. Om Birla mentioning that India will have an integrated system of information collection and dissemination through one place. So one nation and one legislative platform by 2023. Okay. अब याद कर लो वो जैसे 2022, the last year for single use plastic. Right, 5 years from now for 5 billion of exports, 5 billion of exports for defense. Similarly, 2023, one nation, one legislative platform, right? So the idea is to integrate all the content that is being released in the parliament, both the houses, or in the state legislature, either of the houses or both the houses, at one place, and so search capability should be there. Content about the content, metadata about that content should be there, so that people are able to access what is happening in the legislature houses. All right, so this is the update. The new parliament vista, the building getting created. So part of good governance, right? Okay, the third update is on the magical mushrooms. All right, if you want to have a business, magical mushrooms is a very good business for you to have. So what does it take and what are the benefits? Let's understand this. So you plant this and harvest this in 4 weeks time. Around 4 weeks time, I think it is 4 weeks when it gets harvested. And these mushrooms are unique because they are magical, because they are also called as mushroom of immortality, celestial herb or auspicious herb, because since time immemorial they have been cultivated in countries like China, Indonesia, Japan, Vietnam, so countries in Southeast Asia, and one can heal many problems in the body, from cancer to diabetes to inflammation of internal organs, a lot of things, right? So these mushrooms are little different. They are also called as Ganoderma lucidum, right? And the unique feature about these mushrooms is that they grow on wood surfaces or anything that contains wood kind of particles. Sawdust is a good example. What is sawdust? Oh, the carpenter rubs on the wood, no, whatever releases, that is sawdust. So India primarily an agrarian economy, they can start cultivating these now, right? So magical mushrooms, you call them magical mushrooms or Ganoderma lucidum. They can also be cultivated on wheat bran. What is bran? Why? Oh, the husk, not the the paddy leftover. I'm talking of the wheat bran, the brown part, right? Wheat cover, tea leaves, cotton husk. You can cultivate them on these also. And look at the cost, 5,000 rupees per kilo. Who wants this? Magical mushrooms. See, have a look at the unique way in which it happens. The yellow linings and the white color, and the top is maroonish in color, right? Magical mushrooms. Okay, moving ahead to 3 editorials and 2 quickly summarizing, and the third one telling you slightly in details. The third one which I want to discuss is BRICS and creation of multipolar world. See, the institution of BRICS nation, this did not start with BRICS itself. It started with Russia and China coming close to each other, and they then including India, RIC Forum, and then they understood that we can have a platform in which emerging economies could be participants. So Brazil and South Africa, BRIC, and then BRICS, all of them got initiated, and this is how BRICS was formed. See, this is a platform of 2 countries from the southern hemisphere, Brazil and South Africa, and then 3 countries from the northern hemisphere. If you look at the total population in all these countries combined, they would have, in fact, Russia and India and China itself, they would contain 40% of global population. Having just these 3 countries, Russia, China and India, you would see the participation is such that their export is to the tune of 16%, and their combined GDP of these three nations itself is around 22-23%. So 1/4 of global GDP only through Russia, China, and India. Imagine this. So all these three and plus two more countries, they said that let's break away from the developed world's, the order in which they would call themselves even better than the others. Let's break away from them. And this is how the BRICS countries, they created the bank, the BRICS bank, and they allotted $100 billion for this bank. Along with that, they also allotted $100 billion in addition to this, another $100 billion for funding the development projects in developing countries or underdeveloped world. What does this do? This ensures that the American dollars, remember, almost 50% circulation around the world is of American dollars, and 20% more circulation around the world is that of euros. This ensures that although we are writing $100 billion, but this currency would largely be provided in local currencies also. So local currency trade, right? Having integrated finance systems of the local area, integrated with SWIFT, but then local generated finance systems. So these were important things that the BRICS countries wanted. Now here the two countries, South nations, Brazil and South Africa, they might not be as big participants, but Russia, India and China, they are big stakeholders right now. And with Russia and Ukraine in fight, China and India have got the upper hand. Both of them have been abstaining from votes. Right now they have taken a stronger stand after Bucha killings, both of the countries, China and India both. This is where it is very much clear that they will side with Russia, but they will want peace also, because this is going to help them. So what is the future requirement? The editorial very clearly says that the investments that Russia is trying to make with China and India, what is about? It is about selling their oil and gas, giving services for whatever they are good at. So right now this is expensive, right? Transporting through ships, and they will have to invest in infrastructure, hard infrastructure. They will have to invest in various projects, infrastructure projects, not only between the countries, but also various other investments, right? Building a financial network, giving loans to each other. So this is going to be the future, right? This is what the editorial says. So if you look at the heading, BRICS and the creation of multipolar world, this will ensure that the developed world, which earlier it was saying that we are better than you, now it has come to the stand that we are democratic and you are undemocratic. So remember, Russia and China are usually criticized on being undemocratic. So this is where we can create, through the help of BRICS, a multipolar world. Keep on saying what you want to say, but we will create a new world order which has economy centered around decentralized currencies, which it is centered around more stakeholders participating, not just American dollars and European euros, right? This is one. The second editorial is on citizens' right from being beneficiaries to political largesse. Now, this editorial very clearly and simply speaks about the elections. UP is one state which has had anti-incumbency all the time. Last 5 elections, the party which was winning, that would not win the next elections. If it was BSP, the next would be SP. If it was SP, next would be BSP, and then SP, Samajwadi Party and Bahujan Samajwadi Party, and now BJP. But it is the first time in quite a few decades that the same party has won again. This is where the editorial says the reason is provision of better services by the government. Despite COVID mismanagement, despite certain issues, if the government keeps providing services to people, if the government ensures that corruption and crime reduces, this is the way to go. And this is what happened, they say, with the Indian National Congress government in 2009 also. Once they started providing the 2006 onwards MNREGS for the people, local, people of the whole country, that's when they came back in power in 2009 again. So citizens' rights to being beneficiaries adds a lot value to electoral gains. This is what it says. Parliament has just passed a dangerous bill. What bill are we speaking of? We are speaking of the bill that takes in the data about people, biometrics collection, right? So this is where the editorial says that this is dangerous and we know about it, why it is dangerous, right? Taking in the rights of people for 75 years. See, Indian judicial system clearly mentions that a person, unless and until proved guilty, is innocent. On the other hand, here, this system, the new system, this is the quick crux of this editorial. This system says that you are guilty unless and until proven innocent. Why? Because your data, biometrics data, would be stored in the system for 75 years. 75 years if you have not been proven innocent by all the courts, right? Until then, it will be stored in the system. Self-incrimination, data will be taken from you and coercion will happen against you to be able to take this data, and you would be the proof against yourself. Okay, so quick summary of this 3 editorials, and then moving to the last section, that is creating plastic roads. Wow. So what is this fanaticism with roads? Yeah, just that this is I've been taking up these kind of case studies, but this is a beautiful one from Goalpara, Assam, where this road has been constructed with the help of plastic waste material. And utilizing plastic waste is making the road more optimal and durable, and this has been awarded one of the best practices by Niti Aayog. Okay, so yesterday we understood about steel slag roads, and then we also previously have covered roads which are porous in nature, and then now we have plastic aided roads. We also had covered in image of the day once, long time back, roads which would have solar power collection capabilities also, right? And then there were also roads which a lot of roads, yeah, let's leave it. So this is the case of the day, right? Goalpara. So if you can write a case, so case of plastic roads, plastic, the heading. The heading is aiding of road construction with the plastic recycling, right? So this is in the third point, could be Goalpara, Assam, right? Construction of road using plastic entities and recyclable material, and then increasing durability and reducing prices of the roads. And the third part is Goalpara. This is a case, that's it. All you have to write in a case is just this much in your examination. So we are talking about recycling, we're talking about reusing and reducing, upscaling, all these things, right? This is where I take up the questions and we come close to this discussion. If you like this initiative, share some love through likes, comments and shares. Okay. Magical price, yes, 5,000 rupees. Yes, they are used in Chinese. The medicines, the magical herbs that I was speaking of, these medicines are used in traditional Chinese, Japanese medicine. Scriptures, 5,000 years old, they have had a mention of these kind of medication, right? So they are of eminent importance. Kriti says, I read the scientists have found mushrooms also communicative via electrical impulses and have prepared 50-word dictionary. Oh, mushrooms communicate. Okay, Amran, good Atmanirbhar business. All right. Okay, so, if you want to do trade, then look at what Pushpa has been doing, had been doing. All right, that is a mythical story, but then all right, anyhow, so let's quickly move to the feature news video. We'll conduct that video in a very short while. So let's switch the video, and thank you for participation. Prepare quick notes. Any questions, doubts, please get back in the comment section. There are 3 questions I have posted and I would want people viewing offline to respond to them. Thank you for participation.